Hello everyone and welcome. 10 technology trends over 10 years in 10 minutes. I better get started. Now, over the next 10 minutes we're going to look at how these 10 technology changes and trends are going to reshape tourism now and all the way through to 2040. We're going to be looking at how technology is reshaping not only how we travel, but also why we travel, who gets to travel, and what travel means to us today. Now, it was back in 1964 that the science fiction writer Arthur C. Clarke said, "Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic." And today, as tourism goes through its biggest transformation yet, I think we're finally beginning to understand just what he meant. So let's begin with 2031, though this future arguably has already arrived, because by this date, AI, the hot topic of the time, AI assistants are going to be able to autonomously plan, book, and optimize entire trips in real time, creating uniquely personalized experiences based on our preferences, our behavioral data, even biometric mood indicators. Expedia is already testing this reality with trip matching, a tool that lets travelers build complete itineraries based on an Instagram reel, and then you can book everything directly through the platform. But this isn't just about convenience alone. It's also about alleviating the cognitive overwhelm of infinite choice. In a world where people are overwhelmed by too many choices, AI travel assistants will become your trusted guide, who knows you better than perhaps you know yourself. Next year, it's predicted that over 500 million individuals will routinely use digital wallets for identity verification. So by 2032, your face will be your passport. Biometric systems using facial recognition technology will enable seamless movement through airports, hotels, and borders with nothing more than a glance. Vikas Bola, who's the CEO of digital identity company Nyoko, points to a pilot program between Hong Kong and Tokyo where document-free travel via Visa biometric IDs has reduced processing time for the whole experience from 30 minutes down to just 3. But the real driver here isn't about increasing speed, but rather reducing friction. Every queue, every document check, every moment of bureaucratic frustration creates a barrier between the traveller and their experience. Biometric travel, however, will make journeys feel effortless, returning us to the romance of spontaneous travel without the anxiety of logistics. 2033 marks the year cryptocurrency moves from niche to norm in tourism. Digital currencies and blockchain technologies will enable borderless payments, tokenized loyalty programs, and seamless financial transactions for what we're calling the cloud citizen traveler. Crypto could account for 3 to 5% of leisure travel spending by 2030. And in a $1 billion industry, that represents tens of billions in value. But beyond the economics lies something more fundamental. It's what we've called personal financial sovereignty. For those travelers moving between currencies, paying foreign transaction fees and waiting for bank approvals, cryptocurrency represents freedom from the invisible borders that still constrain global movement today. And just as the cloud citizen doesn't belong to any one place today, by 2033, their money won't either. Now, language, as we heard in the last conversation on the other stage, has always been tourism's great divider. But by 2034, that barrier could dissolve entirely. AR glasses and wireless earpieces will provide instant translation between all major languages, opening global travel to monolingual speakers everywhere. The natural language translation market is currently worth about $11.6 billion US, but is projected to reach $88 billion by 2031. But real-time translation isn't simply about understanding menus or asking directions. This technology can actively enhance global communication, fostering a deeper understanding and an appreciation of diverse linguistic and cultural contexts. Ultimately, it's about authentic human connection, where every destination you visit transforms from being a place you observe into a culture you can genuinely engage with. And this technology, therefore, won't just translate words, it will translate entire worlds. Halfway there, by 2035, the emotional landscape will shift. Individual carbon allowances tracked through digital passports will limit air travel per person, fundamentally changing how we will approach and value every single journey. Intrepid Travel predicts that personal carbon allowances will be introduced by the next decade, with a global carbon budget of 750 million tonnes remaining until 2050. Limitations will likely be imposed on individuals by 2040, rationing the amount each person will be able to use, most likely tracked via their passports. So this will be the moment when travel and tourism faces its existential reckoning. If we will only be allowed to travel a certain number of times in a year or in our lives, every single journey becomes special, becomes sacred, and every destination will need to earn its carbon cost. And brands that will help travelers make these choices meaningful and that will create experiences genuinely worth the carbon investment will thrive. But conversely, those that will fail to do so will fail. That's the challenge halfway through the next decade. Then, by 2036, the boundary between physical and digital travel could become seamlessly blurred as immersive VR and AR technologies really start to create photorealistic virtual tourism experiences, a trend that we've called layered realities. The virtual online museum of art, for example, is launching the world's first fully interactive virtual museum, housing digital twins of masterpieces from the Musée d'Orsay in Paris or MoMA in New York and the Art Institute of Chicago, all free to explore online. And for those who will not be able to afford to visit Paris or physically reach the mountains of Machu Picchu, VR will democratize access. And for others, virtual experiences will become the previews that inspire real journeys. Now, 2037 takes this concept further with digital twin destinations. Virtual replicas of entire cities will allow travelers to explore before visiting, while helping tourism boards optimize crowd management in real time and also to preserve the local quality of life. The city of Herrenberg in Germany, for example, has built a complete digital twin model of their city online, which is explorable remotely in VR. And more importantly, Herrenberg is using this twin to inform better decision-making for residents and also for visitors alike. Now, this represents a fundamental shift in how destinations conceptualize themselves and how cities will no longer be passive backdrops for tourism. They could become intelligent, responsive environments that balance visitor experience with community well-being. Then, by 2038, electric passenger drones will revolutionize short-haul transport, offering aerial sightseeing and access to previously unreachable destinations. Many countries are already mapping air corridors specifically for air taxis and cargo drones, building the infrastructure for this aerial future right now, today. And imagine the experiential transformation. Tourists hovering above the Grand Canyon, landing on remote mountain peaks, accessing secret beaches without roads. Drone travel will redefine what's possible in terms of where humans can venture and what we can witness. It will transform the inaccessible into the intimate. And then by 2039, supersonic jets could shrink the world dramatically, placing travelers anywhere on the planet in just 3 to 4 hours. This has massive implications for how we think about business travel and also luxury tourism. Boom Technology is already developing mid-sized supersonic passenger jets, with Japan Airlines and Virgin Atlantic each ordering 20 planes, proving there is a real commercial appetite for this. And as a result, weekend breaks on the other side of the world will become not just achievable, but expected. International business meetings without the jet lag, and families living continents apart will be able to see each other more regularly. Suddenly, distance stops being the barrier that it is today. And finally, 2040 brings us full circle, because hydrogen-powered and electric aircraft will replace kerosene-fueled planes, making aviation genuinely sustainable without sacrificing global mobility. Airbus aims to have hydrogen-powered and hybrid electric aircraft in service by the end of the 2030s. And importantly, carbon-free flying resolves tourism's greatest moral tension. It means we won't have to choose between exploring our world and protecting it. It means that the carbon budgets of 2035 can eventually expand, and it means travel can be both accessible and responsible. 10 years, 10 technologies. However, what these emerging technologies show us is that the future of tourism isn't really about the tech itself, the flying taxis or the AI concierges. It's about using technology to solve very human problems that have always existed in travel. How do we make it accessible? How do we make it meaningful? How do we make it sustainable? How do we stay connected? The winners in tourism's next chapter, therefore, won't be the ones with the flashiest technology. They'll be the ones who understand what the technology actually means for people, for us, and for that fundamental human need that we all have to explore, to discover, and to feel like we belong somewhere beyond our everyday lives. Thank you. Now, be among the first to explore our new report, which is launching here at TOURISE, thanks to TOURISE, elevating the hospitality guest experience with AI, and we're launching that tomorrow during our exclusive TOURISE workshop, which I hope you can join. Please do use the QR code to connect to that report, and have a good conference. Thank you very much.